That is the truth. Take it or leave it. We've never had it better than President Tinubu.
Thousands of graduates without these loans being thrown out every single year. Let me land.
You are aware that our refineries are now coming back to life.
No, they are not.
They are not coming back. I said they are now coming back. I thought that they have come back. The president pays defense to some poor families.
That is not true. That is not true. Name one poverty that has received it around
not
even recently bought a yacht. What is the
to do a kidney transplant is on the average 100,000. Now, to do a kidney transplant in government hospital is 11,000 naira per session.
Since the removal of fuel subsidy, inflation has increased. How has poor benefited? That's my question.
Are you aware that over 70% of the Nigerian students are very poor?
It depends on what you mean by poor. Poor is relative. No. Poor is relative.
No.
Can you use that one? I'm going to say poor in this country.
Can you resume, right?
Yeah, that's why I was forsaking all the things on my.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah. So it's funny.
I have issues with the accessibility of your loan. I have issues with the moral imperatives behind the idea. I have issues with the credibility of the administration issuing and administrating and distributing the loan. So what exactly is the guarantee that the loan as described is as accessible as described? Because based on what is empirically observable within Nigerian student populations, a lot of people do not have access to these loans. Then the requirements for accessing the loans are not adjusted to the realities of Nigeria, because a lot of people do not have consigners with specific credit scores or eligibility requirements that have been indicated as part of the requirements for the loan. So how could you claim victory, moral victory, or whatever empirical victory if it's not as accessible for the demographic of people that actually need a loan as you're claiming?
Let us understand something about the student loan. It's not for everybody. It is for the 1% of the 1% of the poorest. So the issue of accessibility, someone like you cannot claim you don't have access to the loan. When, for example, you get the point now. So you cannot make claim to such. The law is that if your parent earn less than 500,000 naira a year, you must bring proof. And people to stand, you want to take loan from any loan app or any credible bank now, you must have guarantors. So that is just the issue. And the loan is being administered by the institution you are attending. So the money is not given to the student. It is paid directly to the university. So it is the university that will now know what to do with it. So the issue of credibility and accessibility should not even arise in the first place.
Okay, so for the credibility of the loan,
yes,
the loan was instituted as a response to the removal of the education subsidy.
Okay.
So you have to look at the disproportional effects, because the removal of the education subsidy, like, it's essentially impoverished every student and made education incredibly expensive. Yet the loan, that is the ameliorative response to that particular situation, was only made accessible to a specific subset of students. So if you created a policy that impoverished every single person, and then you created an ameliorative response that only targeted a unique demographic of people that you cannot essentially validate, because we don't have the data to validate people's.
First of all, let's get something clear. Education is still highly subsidized in Nigeria. Now, let us do a comparative analysis. To train a lawyer in Nigeria and to train a lawyer in the UK, let us do a comparative analysis. To train a lawyer in Nigeria, it is as subsidized as 40%. To train a doctor is the same thing, as subsidized as 40%. So education subsidy still exists. But the student loan is for the 1% of the 1% of the poorest. To show, you must be proof that your parent does not have the means to sponsor you, and you have gained admission, and the money directly goes to the university, and they eventually pay you stipends to live on.
Okay. Are you aware that over 70% of Nigerian students are essentially poor? Like, they come from very poor.
It depends on what you mean by poor.
Hold on.
Poor is relative.
Poor is not relative.
It's relative.
It's observable.
Poor is
objectively measurable.
No. Poor is relative. No. You see, those so-called poor students are the ones you see using iPhone 16, and you say you are poor. You are using iPhone 16 and you say you are poor. Can you use iPhone 16 and call yourself poor in this country?
So
now
I expected a more civil response to my.
That is just it. There is nothing criminal about my response.
Having an iPhone does not indicate financial status.
Okay. So how do you maintain it? How do you buy that?
It could be a gift.
It could be a gift. How do you maintain it? They also gift you data too.
it does not account for the high cost of living in Nigeria. It's not sustainable. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is you have a policy that supposedly targets a lot of Nigerian students.
Yes.
Yet we have more Nigerian students that need this policy than Nigerian students that can access this policy. And this policy itself is a justification for the constant impoverishment of Nigerian education.
That is not correct. That is not correct. Like I told you, it is not for everybody. Student loan is not for everybody. So you must be qualified, quote and unquote, to access it. So a lot of Nigerian students are not qualified to access it. That's the truth.
Hello, sir.
Good morning. Good
Okay,
afternoon.
absolutely. You can't claim that a government made a policy for its people and say it is not meant for everybody, right? The essence of policies is that people are able to access those things that are supposed to be a form of succor to your citizens, right? Do you agree with that?
Yes, that's true.
That's true. Awesome. Now that you agree with that, why do you think that educational loans should not be accessible to people that need it? You say, oh, 1% of 1% of the poorest. Well, those 1% of the 1% of the poorest probably do not have a level 16 civil servant or something in their family, or do not even have things like money or transportation to go to the schools.
Let's get
Do you know that in the
it appears-
current, in the current Nigerian economy, you cannot survive as a student comfortably on 20,000 naira per month? Let's leave that aside. Secondly, you say that the educational policies, the educational loan, right, is supposed to like be paid directly to the school and then for the poor people. But now people are saying even those poor people cannot access it. So who exactly is getting the loans?
The question is a very good question. Who exactly is getting the loan? The loan, those getting it are the targeted people.
What
Now,
targeted?
you can't tell me that you are attending Covenant University and you tell me you want to have access to such loans. No, it's not doable.
Why?
It's not possible. You are going to Covenant University. Do you know what it means to go to Covenant University?
So
On the average, Covenant University pay 2 million naira annually on the average. We are talking of people that cannot even afford 10,000 naira. They are talking about 2 million naira. No. It's not for. You see, policies cannot be for everybody. Policies, for instance, a policy meant for farmers cannot be used by the farmer, by the bankers. Policy meant for doctors cannot be used by the teachers.
but this
So policies
everybody,
are
this policy is for students.
madam, policies are peculiar.
Of course.
So you have to understand the peculiarity of the policies
But these are for
before
students.
you apply them.
But
If
these
you
policies
misapply,
are
no,
for
you are trying to
students.
misapply this policy.
We're not.
No,
We're saying
we are
it's
talking
for
about
students.
these people don't have access. Let me tell you something. If you have read the Student Loan Act very well, it is not only civil servants, level 16 that or level whatever that you at least, no matter how bad you are in this country, you must belong to either a church or a mosque. Somebody must know. You are very religious in this country now. Your pastor should be able to stand for you. Your imam should be able to stand for you. People, you must belong to a community indigenous to Nigeria. So you must have village head or community head or CDA, whatever. These are people that can stand for you. So it doesn't have to be level 16, level 20, level 7. No.
Okay. But do you agree, as you mentioned earlier, why does there have to be a segregation of people that can access the loan or not? People want access to education.
Let me tell you something.
And quality education does not
Madam, let
come
me tell you
cheap.
something.
Right.
Madam, let me tell you something. Okay, let me pray a prayer. But before I pray that, I will first of all say it to myself. May I never find myself in a situation whereby I will have to access student loan to train my children. I don't know whether you can say amen to that prayer.
Oh, no, I would not say amen to that
Fine.
prayer because
Fine.
even now you mentioned.
No, because-
Excuse me, allow me to talk, please. You mentioned education outside of Nigeria.
Yes.
The reason why people outside there are comfortably able to access loans to use for their education is because they know that they will get quality education and then they would also get good jobs after their school.
Okay.
But when your government is not providing that for you, then what is the point of the loan? One, and secondly, the thing you mentioned in your claims is that this loan is the best educational reform in decades. I do not agree because the educational system is still as shitty as it was a decade ago.
Tell us
What
the best education policy you've witnessed in this country. Tell us.
No, I don't
If
think
I'm sorry,
I don't
madam,
think I've witnessed a good educational policy. I've not witnessed.
You see, the truth is, let me tell you something. In this country, we've never had it better than President Tinubu.
No.
That is the truth. Take it or leave it. We've never had it better. The problem people have is that they are not happy that he's the one doing it. Or they are either jealous of his achievement. That is the truth.
Well, how can we be jealous of something that
No, maybe not you. Maybe not you. Maybe the new Cutlass party are coming through. It's very possible. It's possible. We have a student loan. Let me tell you something. Even in abroad, student loan is not accessible to everybody. How will you tell me that something like President Trump's children will obtain student loan?
Because they do not need it.
Thank you.
But
Everybody
the
don't need
people
it.
that need it are not getting it.
They are
That's what
getting
we
it.
are saying.
They are getting it, and they are happy getting it.
But the people
In
that
fact, you need to see
it are
testimonies.
I don't need a student loan, but I'm not getting a student loan. Why do you think I don't need a student loan?
Why do I think you don't need it?
Why
In
do you
fact, to
think I
my
don't
mind,
need
you don't need it.
Why do you
To
think
my
I don't
mind,
need
in fact,
like, you have to explain why.
I may be wrong in my assessment of your look, but the way I assess you, you don't need it.
So you think that only
The way
poor-
I assess
so
you, I
think-
may be wrong, though.
So wait, you think only poor people, like the extremely poor people, should be able to get access?
Those
to
are the
student loans?
targets.
But that then
Those are the targets. You see, let me tell you, so why you look at this,
past 5 minutes.
okay,
Okay.
I think it's reset.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's talk about what is good educational policy.
Okay.
So myself, I think that what is good educational policy is something that people can afford.
Good.
So myself, I went to government primary school in Ahoda. Our school fee was 200. I registered myself sometime around 1999, 2000 for 300 naira. That's my primary school. And I could afford it at that time. I didn't need to depend on my parents to make that payment. The moment they gave me work to do, and I said, I no longer want to do the work, I could afford to go to school. I passed through the university. The highest school fee I paid was 30-something thousand naira. My parents didn't have to struggle. Sometimes I could just come back from the university and I would just drive Okada and I pay my school fee. And I could afford it. So I think that what is good educational policy is if you have a system where people can afford it. And that is it. So somebody like myself, I do not need to start going to the government to say I want to take a loan, because one, there's no guarantee of job. When I graduate to say, oh, I'm going to pay back this loan. And it's not a grant, you call it loan. But now let's look at the percentage of this loan. If you look at 1% of Nigeria, over the loan is 50 billion, right? If you look at 1% of Nigeria, it's 2.3 million, right? If you divide that, it's less than 0.04%
Okay.
of in terms of exchange rate. So you're giving less than 5 naira if you use 1%, the 1% that you mentioned. And we do know that Nigeria's poverty ratio is worse than 1%. It's not 1%, right? And again, I don't even know why you have to use the UK to do this comparative, because you see a lot of examples of countries you could use around there, and then you go to the UK, right? UK of all places. But let's talk about what is affordable. For me, I was able to afford education with that, and I was coming from you can relatively say poor background, because my family was not making even 200k as at that time
Let me
a
tell
year.
you. Let me tell you something. sir.
Yet I was able to go to school. I passed through quality education.
What year was that, sir?
Oh, I'm talking about 2000.
Now, let me ask you, what was the minimum wage that year?
Oh, you're talking of minimum.
No. Let's ask it. I can Google it. Minimum wage that time was 3,000 naira.
Okay.
3,000 naira.
Yeah.
Now, you cannot compare the quality of the exchange rate then.
No, but
And now,
don't
because
forget the issue we are dealing with. The
Okay.
issue we are dealing with is that it is the best of all time.
Yes.
I'm showing you a world
Yes.
where I was poor and I could afford education. I could fund my education even as a
Yes.
child who was not even an adult yet. My parents could also fund their work.
Yes.
That is the point. The point is that if you're saying this policy is the best of all time, you should put more people in school. You should empower more children. You should create more jobs. But this policy isn't doing that. This policy is making people to go and take loan that they're not going to pay back.
They-
In fact, let's even look at one thing that is very important to
Okay.
determine. Do you admit that corruption exists in this system?
There has never been.
No, for
There's
I'm
never
asking
been
the
a
question,
time.
is this system?
There's never been a time that corruption has ceased to exist.
Okay, let me now ask you
in this
now.
country.
Describe how a poor child will access this loan.
How a poor child will access.
Yes.
Apply.
Apply.
Bring proof
Okay.
that your parents earn less than 500k, 500 less.
Now that's where the policy
Wait,
starts
now,
having issues.
bring proof, then get people to stand for you.
That's where the
That-
policy starts having issues, because one, you claim that I will go and meet my village chief. I don't have to meet my village chief if I'm poor. In fact, most poor families can't even have access to most of these people that you want to come and stand for them.
Then it shows
Which-
that you are not.
That's the meaning of what it means to be poor.
It shows that you are not
Oh,
active in
you have to
society.
be a political member.
You don't have to be
or
a
you have to
political.
go
No.
around the village.
Let me tell you, when you say active,
For instance,
when you say active people,
if you- I'm
wait,
from-
I'm coming.
I'm
When
from
you say
Nigeria.
active people in a society, you don't have to be a card-carrying member of any party. There are some villages you get to. I'm going to so and so family. They will tell you, that is where they are. I'm going to so and so family. They will quickly, this is the family. So For them
Is
to
there
be
a
known.
word? Is there a word where you think that those people that will make these references
Yes.
are going to politicize this? Where they are going to say, "Oh, I'm going to sign for this kid because I know this kid or I know this family." Do you think that that word excludes children? Don't you think that that word where you have to meet somebody to vet for you, right? And then most likely you don't know this person doesn't know you. Because there are a lot of children who are Igbo children who don't necessarily belong to like Yoruba group within like Yoruba communities
No,
or like
we don't tribalize it.
No, it's not.
We don't
I'm not
tribalize it.
tribalizing. I'm talking
No.
about a word where get my
What
point.
of the church? Are they not active in the church?
You're not getting me.
They are not active in the religious settings too.
Get my point.
Ah,
You
no,
need
no.
to get the
You see,
point
the
first.
I'm coming, sir. The Nigeria that we are today is either you are active in your religious setting, at least if you are in a church, the pastor will know, you are in the choir.
Okay, so
You are in
if I get you now, unless you belong to a church where your pastor can reference
you must belong to a society where they know you.
that is where the exclusion comes from.
There is no
Because
exclusion.
the policy then is actually
Except you are telling me that you are an island, that you are alone.
Get it.
We have 5 minutes.
Okay, good. I didn't shake you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, thank you for being here. So I think that the first thing I'll start with is to discuss what has been established so far. The first thing is, you think that this policy is the best to have ever happened.
It is the best that has ever.
Before you get to being the best, I think it's fundamentally important to establish whether it's a good policy to begin with.
Okay.
So that is the evaluation that everybody here has been doing so
Yes.
far. The first thing I want to establish here,
Because
is-
those that benefited from it, if you ask them, they will tell you it is the best.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing.
Isn't it? Yes,
Before the
because
best, before being the best.
those that have benefited from it, they are not from Ghana, they are not from Togo, they are Nigerians like you and I.
Yeah,
They are
I think it's fine to say something is good. I mean, like if you give somebody bread, 1 or 2 people are going to get bread. But the fact that 2 people get bread doesn't mean that it's the best thing. Like
At that moment, it is the best.
No, it's
Until
not.
you bring something better than it.
That's even
There is always something better than the best.
That's
So until
fine.
you are able to counter it with nothing better.
That's fine.
For now, that is the best.
This is my first question. My first question is:
Okay.
Is this a good policy?
Very-
I don't care whether it's the best.
In fact,
Is
for
this-
now, it is the best policy. Not just good. I'm
Alright.
going
Alright,
two
alright.
steps ahead. It is the
Great.
best.
So let's break it down.
Yes.
When you give somebody a loan,
Yes.
what do you expect in return?
Yes, he pays back.
It pays back. What is the mechanism for the provision of paying back?
You see, the mistake we keep making in this country is that we think government creates job for every citizen. There is nowhere in the world that government creates job for every citizen. Now, I'm coming. Now, you see, during this debate, we may have to delve into other areas in which the government has made giant strides. That, for instance, go to Ajaokuta steel mill. Look at Ajaokuta before now. Look at Ajaokuta now, and see what is happening. You will see that Ajaokuta alone has the capacity to create up to 500,000 jobs. So there are instances, and when you talk of those are formal jobs, there are still informal jobs. What are my informal jobs? For instance, Lagos Calabar Road that is going on now. On the construction site, there are jobs for some people there.
Okay.
There are also informal jobs. The woman that will be selling food.
So
The job has been created for that woman. That is indirect job has been created for some people.
Very first
People that are selling water.
The very first thing, sir, the very first thing, sir, is that it is quite incomparative for you to say they are informal job for you. You that are providing scholarships and loans for people in university.
Yes.
It's incomparative for you to say that they are job for them to come be selling rice.
So you see,
Very
that
incomparative.
is the problem we need.
Hold on.
When you talk about money, when you talk, you see,
Hold on.
we need to redefine our ideology of what job is.
Yeah.
Do you know that we've seen graduates, all these things you call food, we'll see graduates, they will repackage it.
My
Before
problem.
you know what is happening, these guys are making hell of money. Go and look at how KFC started. If you have read the
You're not
story behind KFC,
you're not
you will
getting
know
fundamental
that
claim.
this person started, the mother
This is a
started,
fundamental claim.
I'm coming, the mother started on the roadside.
We all use Cowdick.
With the education,
We use
that is
Cowdick.
branded. Look at what KFC
We use
used to do.
PLC.
That
We
is
use
what
Chicken Republic.
that is
That's
what
fine. That's understood.
that is what education can do to you. It will make that job you think is so dirty. With your education, you are supposed to refine it and make it look good.
Excuse
And
me.
you become an
Excuse me.
asset to
Excuse
your
me.
society by even creating jobs for people to work in there. That is the effect of
there are
education.
hundreds of thousands of graduates without these loans being thrown out every single year. Let me land.
You
Let me land. Excuse me.
Situate within time.
Excuse me.
Situate within time. When this loan started and when the loan was yet to start,
Okay.
situate it properly. Don't let us talk about instances when the student loan have not started.
Okay.
Let us talk about the
That's
student loan
problem.
regime.
You are saying that the fact that you give people access to education means
Yes.
that they will automatically get opportunities. The problem here is that even before giving them access to the education, they do not have that opportunity.
Because
how do you create?
You think they don't have?
How does the creation of the education connect
Alright,
to
guys.
provision of opportunities?
Time, we have 5 flags. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I like this.
Okay.
Start.
Okay.
Nigeria has a higher IGR than Ghana. Nigeria is the largest oil producing country in Africa.
The second after Angola.
Nigeria has the biggest market and
Yes,
has the
that's
largest open economy in Africa.
That's correct.
Ghana's education, primary and secondary, is free. That tertiary is ridiculously subsidized, which means that when you don't pay primary and secondary and you still have less to pay for tertiary, it's highly affordable for citizens. Do you believe that Nigeria has the will to do so?
Nigeria is already doing it. Primary and secondary government too. It is you that is doing the private that want to help. Government primary and government secondary school are free.
But I'm talking about
In
all
Nigeria
the-
here,
I'm talking about
they are
all the
free.
schools, both private and
No, why will you say? Why will you go to private and not pay? Go to Okumuyi school and say you will not pay. Go to Oyeleko school and say you will not pay.
Okay.
They will show you the case now.
Do you
We are
know
talking
that-
about what belongs to the government?
Do you know that government schools are not free? I am a witness of it. We pay money. He pays money. There is no government school in
Let me tell you something.
Nigeria,
I went to
both
Veteran Grammar
primary
School.
and secondary.
I went
that
to
is
government.
free.
I went to government veteran grammar school. The only thing that was private about my school was the primary school.
Okay.
But my secondary school, I finished from veteran grammar school 2002,
Okay.
and I can tell you we did not pay school fees.
Okay.
And we were there when Asiwaju was governor. In fact, he paid our WAEC and NECO.
Okay.
That's to tell you how. So for you to say it is not free, I don't know which angle you are coming from.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to use what you said against
Yes.
what you just said now.
Yes.
Someone made an argument and you said to the person, it might be so, but to others, it might not be. To you, it might be that your experience was nicer, but to millions of other Nigerians, it's different because they cannot afford even the smallest fees
Itemize the
that
difference.
government-
You don't just say the difference shouldn't be vague.
It
Let
is
us know
different
how
because,
much you dey pay.
because if
Bring
Tinubu
proof
is
that they
paying
must
your
pay.
money
Yes.
for Agidingbi Grammar School in Lagos,
Yes.
then someone in Kogi Grammar School cannot afford to pay that grammar school's money. That's different. That's a difference in experience. But look, a lot of things solve the problem that you want to solve, especially with the loan, right? Because see, if there's a higher purchasing power because parents don't have to pay so much for education, it means that companies are going to be making more money.
There is
It means
nowhere-
that they can
there
expand
is
and
no-
provide more jobs for the people that you want jobs for.
No, you see, there is nowhere in the world that education is free. Let's get that
No,
right.
you can't say that.
There is nowhere in the world.
You can't say that.
Particularly tertiary education.
Sir, in
I'm not saying
Scandinavian
I'm not-
countries, education is free.
There is no
In
way.
Saudi Arabia, education is free.
In Saudi Arabia.
They even pay their students. Yes, they do.
We are paying our students together.
We are not. We are not paying
We
them.
are paying our students student loan.
A loan that they are going to pay back. Is it paying when they are going to pay
The
back?
20,000 naira maintenance fee is not part of the loan they are paying back.
Okay, so how
The
did they now pay
20,000
back the
naira
main
loan
loan?
is not part of what they are paying back.
So how did they pay back the main loan?
The main loan,
Yes.
as they are finishing from school.
Okay.
Look, like I was telling my learned friend to be, my experience. See, I have never written application for job. You get my point now? And I believe we have so many people. Let me tell you, it is Nigeria's, it is the younger
Sir,
generation.
I think your
The younger generation have a mentality
I think, sir,
I'm coming. Wait, the younger generation have a mentality of as soon as I finish, I go and
I get
look
where
for
you're
job.
going.
Create
I get
job.
where you're going.
You are
Sir,
an abundant.
You are so generalistic. You use one experience to judge several experiences.
No. There are
Which
several
is
people.
wrong.
There are several people like that.
You can't say that.
There are, I know.
That you know. There are over
several
200
people.
million people in Nigeria. You
Yes.
don't know 1% of the
As
people
a
in
matter
Nigeria.
of, let me tell you something. Once you have gone to school, like I told you, there is nowhere in the world that the government provides job for every citizen.
There is.
There is nowhere.
There is.
What the government will do is to make an enabling environment for private sector to thrive. And by that private sector thrives, before you know it, everybody gets job. Government can, what is the population of the civil servants? No, it's not possible.
We have to post it in a second.
Since it's 1 minute, so I don't think there's time for debate, right?
Okay.
So let's just go straight to it. You said you went to school for free,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Perfect. Do you understand that going to school for free is a policy on its own that made that possible?
Yes.
Do you believe that's better than the loans? Because you
No,
go
I
to school for
secondary
free,
school. Secondary school. I
but you
didn't
can go to
do
school for free.
I went to secondary school for free. No, I didn't say university.
That's as a result of a policy. That's as a result of a
Because you
policy.
say I went to university for free, you go and misquote me now.
But you went to school for free.
I went to secondary school
For free.
Yes.
As a result of a governmental policy.
Yes, the president
right?
then was.
You can see it. I can see it. Everybody can see it.
Yes.
But nobody can see anybody that has taken loans, right?
Do you want to see?
Yeah, I want to see, right?
Go to the university.
We don't need to go.
No, go to the
For
university.
For you.
I can't bring them here.
Yeah, but for you, we
I
don't
can't
need to
bring
go
them here.
anywhere.
I can't bring them here.
For you, we
Go to
don't
the
need to go
university.
anywhere because it was visible, right?
Yes.
That we didn't need to go anywhere to look for people that have gone to school for free. So you benefited from an educational policy, right? And it's visible. So we can say that is better. That is the best because you paint the world that makes it look like we're so far away from poor people, right? Now we don't know. But even in Banana Island, there are slums, right? So if you've gone to school for free, then I think, and everybody should think, that's a better educational policy.
Fuel subsidy never helped the poor. Ending it was justice. Removing the subsidy was the bravest policy move Nigeria has seen in decades. Fuel subsidy never helped the poor. Ending it was
He has to explain for
removing the subsidy.
Okay, he has to
was the
explain.
bravest
Let him
policy
explain.
Nigeria has seen in decades. Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. When you talk about fuel subsidy, it was a scam. In fact, according to one of the presidential candidates, he said subsidy is an organized crime, and that is the truth. All the frontline candidates for 2023 election, they were all in agreement in one thing, that subsidy must go. That was a general agreement, subsidy must go. So President Tinubu came and he said he will not let subsidy stay for a day. Immediately, as he was making his address, he said subsidy is gone. And that was the best thing that could happen. How come we remove subsidy? If you notice, our neighboring countries were the ones lamenting. I don't know whether you watched some videos that were circulating. Nigeria removed subsidy. They were crying in Togo, crying in Benin Republic, crying in Cameroon because Nigeria removed subsidy. So subsidy is an organized crime. So the best we can do for ourselves is to remove the subsidy. Yes, it will come with its own effect. No doubt. It's like a woman going into the labor room. Yes, it will come with no pain. And after that short pain, definitely the woman rejoices for the rest of her life. So that is it. It is an organized crime. It is justice for the poor in this country. It is justice for the masses. Removing subsidy is the best thing, one of the best things that can happen to this country. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning. So I do agree that fuel subsidy to an extent is a canker financially to every country's economy. But what I do not agree with is you saying that it's never helped the poor. That statement you made. Because if you look at
help the poor, it's justice for the poor.
Okay, but you said it never there was a claim you made. The removal was justice for the poor.
Was justice for the poor, yes.
Okay, but then you made a claim that it is, how do I put it? You said it was never helpful to the average. There was a
No. Because I said removing subsidy was the best, one of the best things that has happened. It was justice for the poor.
So my point now is, if you say it was justice for the poor, can you explain how it has helped the poor today? Because the poor have gotten poorer. I know, when I came, I agreed that fuel subsidy was actually necessary. Then another thing is, you made a claim that fuel subsidy, the three frontline candidates said they were going to end fuel subsidy, which is, I agree with that. I heard them say it. But then you said that your candidate's way, Tinubu's way of removing fuel subsidy was the best way. You said he came on his inauguration day and said fuel subsidy is gone. I think that was actually not smart. It was not a smart way to end fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy is, we are a nation that has not gotten to that level where we have, stable electricity.
Now, so let's get something clear. You see, I want to run us through the history of subsidy. Many of us hear subsidy, we don't even know how it began. Subsidy, the idea of subsidy began at first in 1973 as a result of the global oil crisis. So, the Iran-Israel thing now is certainly going to affect the price of fuel. In fact, fuel has started increasing. Cost of fuel has started as a result of the war. Many people will ask, what has Iran and Israel got to do with that? That's a lot. Because crude oil is an international commodity and it's determined by the price of dollar, not your local price. You cannot set it. It is there. So if at that point in 1973 there was a similar issue that raised the prices of fuel products generally. So what they now did when Obasanjo was a military head of state, he now enacted a decree called price control decree, so that they will subsidize. Maybe then we were still using, in fact, fuel was still sold for kobo. Then if it was let's assume 20 kobo, government will subsidize 10 kobo, like that. So when you look at it, then it was useful, but we didn't know that subsidy has outlived its usefulness to the extent that it now degenerated into an organized crime. If removal of subsidy was a bad thing, ask yourself, when I don't know how old you were in 1999, when Obasanjo was elected as president. You know, Obasanjo he was head of state twice, as military and as so when in 1999, I don't know how old you were, like I said, but then I can tell you I was in SS2 going to SS3 in 1999. So if you look at it from that perspective, Obasanjo met fuel price. I think Abacha increased it to 11 naira. Then Abdul Salam was the last major. He increased it to 20 naira. Obasanjo met it at 20 naira and left it at 65. That was a gradual removal of the subsidy. No president was bold enough to remove it at once because of the effect it will have. But when Yar'Adua came, Yar'Adua reduced it and all of that. When Yar'Adua died, Jonathan attempted to remove it fully in 2012. Then there was protest and all of that. To me, many of you will say, after all, it was Tinubu and Co that didn't allow him to remove it. But let me tell you something. When Tinubu removed it, there was no protest. NLC, for the first 1 year of this administration, NLC went on strike for about 4 or 5 times. The difference between Jonathan and Tinubu is courage. The courage to take the right decision. You see, when you plant, for instance, yam, it will not grow immediately. It will decay. So we have gone through that decay period. So we are beginning to reap it now.
Yeah, nice to meet you, sir.
Same here too.
I think the question I want to ask is that it's very clearly you pointed out that the problem and the effect of removing subsidy was that externally people were the people we export crude oil to, were lamenting. Is that not the more pernicious problem that a lot of the the produce of crude oil that we get is exported out of Nigeria
illegally,
when it is the case that a lot of people
illegally
need it? That also proves the point that removing subsidy is not maybe ideal if it is the case that the large effect is like external and people are subsidizing externally are just illegal.
You see, let me tell you something.
Ban illegal subsidies.
In fact, what that act itself, do you know one man they call Honorable Farouk Lawan? I don't know whether representing Kanu. The man was jailed for subsidy scam.
Yeah, that's
now what I'm trying to let you know is that government has subsidized fuel for consumption of Nigerians.
Yeah.
Then you are importing fuel, instead of bringing it to Nigeria, you sold it elsewhere. Is that not a scam?
Yeah,
is that not economic sabotage?
But the subsidy, the
so if you want to, that's why government now felt that if you don't want to be doing that, use your money to import it, go and sell it anywhere.
But the
use your money now. If you have money,
the nature of the subsidy removal was also subsidy removal for people inside, not just externally.
No, you see, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you notice, people with fleet of cars no longer go in their convoy anymore like before. It has reduced. I'm not saying it doesn't exist though. It has reduced.
But that's not the dominant. Like people need oil. Like you need to have fuel so that you can transport food items.
If you go to petrol station, if you go to fuel station, won't you buy fuel?
That's the vast use.
Well, if you go to fuel,
everybody needed.
No. I'm coming. If you go to fuel station now, won't you see fuel?
I think that the point I'm trying to.
Wait. Yeah. Let me tell you something. There was a trend in this country before President Tinubu.
Yeah.
Anytime it's Christmas time, there wasn't the fuel scarcity. True of us. Since Tinubu's emergency now, did you see that?
I think that's not the point. The
No,
point,
no, no, no. I'm telling you,
point is that
availability. Number one, removal of subsidy. Wait, removal of subsidy. We ensure that there is availability of fuel.
it's not, because you still like it's still much more profitable to export outside because they pay more for it. Internally here, we still are not
See,
as competitive.
if they use their money, wait, my brother, if they use their money to import it, and they go and send outside, that is their problem. I know it's not government.
But the problem is that what you need to fix is that you can't set a flat rate of removing subsidy both internally and externally.
No,
because that doesn't make it more competitive.
No.
But additionally as well,
wait.
is that
It
makes it easier for you to have people like Dangote who are capitalists, because it's now easier for them to compete.
Are you aware that our refineries are now coming back to life?
No, they are not.
They are now coming back. I said they are now coming back. I thought that they have come back. They are now coming back.
That's always been the story.
No, they are now coming back. Warri refinery.
I live in Delta.
A lot of private refineries are springing up. This man, Bois.
Exactly.
Bois' own is also
The
coming up.
problem is that the private refineries are not going to sell. Do you just make it easier for private refineries to sell at a higher price?
I think what you should ask yourself is that since the removal of the subsidy, how has it affected the states? Now, do you know what they call bailout? Have you heard of bailout?
Yeah, definitely.
What is bailout?
Bailout is like, giving soft landing to private companies in terms of
No. When you talk about bailout now, do you know that before now, some governors are unable to pay salaries? They will have to run to federal government to bail them out. Now, wait, do you know allocation? Now, allocation of states have tripled. States that could not do projects are now doing projects. There are some states that
the problem is how is that money?
There are states that in this country there are some states in this country that the only project they can commission is bus stop. Now they are now commissioning infrastructure that makes sense to the people.
Like what?
I don't want to mention states. Yeah, no. There are some states. I saw it. They did all the BRT, just like something similar, not as good as it, similar to BRT. They are the state of commissioning bus stop.
But
that is it now. When minimum wage was 33,000, some governors could not pay.
And still now they can't pay.
Now with the removal of subsidy now, they are now paid.
An example, Lagos State that generated the most amount of revenue in Nigeria, generates the most amount of revenue in Nigeria, is still like this.
Are you saying that?
So generation of
Lagos is not paying minimum wage?
His generation of revenue doesn't transform.
No.
But we expect subsidy removal and the promise of subsidy removal.
Do you know why? Listen to me. Do you know why some state governors are decamping to the president's party?
Because they're afraid of corruption.
No, there is not about afraid. Look, it doesn't matter corruption or no corruption. It's not about corruption. This is the first time you have a president call a governor, Mr. Governor.
I think that's right.
Any infrastructure going on in your state, these are because of the first subsidy, they are now happy. They are earning more. They don't need to go and borrow money to be paying salary. That was the trend before.
So, I'm back again.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have two very, very specific questions, and I want you to attend to those questions specifically.
Okay.
The premise I'm engaging is that it is justice for the poor. Since the removal of fuel subsidy, inflation has increased, employment has been on the rise. How has the poor
employment has been on the rise?
How has poor benefited? That's my question.
How has the poor benefited?
That's it.
Number one, availability of fuel. The fuel is now available anytime, any day.
But has increased rates?
Of course, it will increase.
Exactly.
Because fuel, no. Are you telling me that fuel price is determined locally? It is determined internationally, not locally.
The point is
Nigeria does not have a say. Saudi Arabia has fuel does not dictate the amount of they cannot. Availability. Number one. Number two, it has enabled government to provide a lot of services to the people.
How? What?
Infrastructure.
What? Which example? Example of an
Are you telling me that governors are not commissioning
in my
projects?
streets? There are people without boreholes. There are people digging water from the well. What is infrastructure? How many infrastructure?
No, you see, first and foremost, let us get something clear. This issue of borehole we are talking about. You see, if not because we are in a country where we are not too compliant with laws. Do you know that for every borehole you dig in your house, you are supposed to be paying tax on it? Are you aware?
Mention government infrastructure.
I'm telling you.
Let's go. Government infrastructure provided to the poor. Where is the poor? What are they benefiting?
Very good. If you go to government hospitals now, particularly federal government hospitals now, by this time last year, to do a kidney transplant is on the average 100,000 naira.
How many people?
I'm coming to do a kidney transplant on the average it could be lesser than that.
How many people?
But on the average,
doing a kidney transplant? How many people?
now to do a kidney transplant in government hospital is 11,000 naira. Let me. I'm saying that 11,000 naira per session of a kidney transplant.
So
as we speak now,
if I take you to a federal hospital right now,
yes,
we're going to queue there. We're going to spend hours before we attended to.
It is not
Comparatively,
no, of course, because
we are talking about the good things. Mention the good things that are directly affecting the grassroots level. The grassroots level, the poor. Nobody in the poor is going to pay 1 million, 100 million naira to do a kidney transplant.
No, nobody's talking about 100 million. We're talking about 11,000. I didn't say 11,000 naira. 11,000 naira.
Engage the matter.
No,
what are they benefiting? What is the poor directly benefiting?
The poor are benefiting a lot. Infrastructure, availability, infrastructure, education. A lot of investment have gone into our education.
Sir, okay, let's leave that one. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
No, it's not your time.
It's not your time. It's not your time. Oh my God, you guys.
This one is like 3 bottles. Alright, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the problem I have with the fuel subsidy is that this guy came to accept that fuel subsidy removal is a good thing.
Yes.
If you look at the data currently, of all the oil producing nations, every single one of them maintain a kind of subsidy for petroleum products. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Iran, Bahrain, Oman, they all have socialist and welfarist policies to buffer for instances in which they made adjustments to the prices of the fuel. Nigeria is not a primarily welfarist society. Nigeria has always maintained mixed economies, and Nigeria doesn't have very effective socialist policies to cater for the poor, to buffer for the influences and effects of the fuel subsidy removal. The reason why all the presidential candidates all affirmed the need for the removal was because Nigeria has very strong bureaucratic bottlenecks that prevented the redistribution of funds from the subsidy removal to the actual capital projects. So they suggested, no, don't interrupt me. They suggested that the removal is a way to at least free up liquidity that will enable them to combat these structures, that will enable them to simultaneously improve the situations for corruption and also use the money for the
buttress your point. Let me buttress your point. You see, that is why I think earlier in the year, the president took the governors to court to allow local government get their monies directly. Who are the enemies? The state governors.
That is not related to
no. The money we are talking about, the subsidy money, won't you get to the local government?
It's a mismanagement issue.
No,
it's not about allocation. It's a mismanagement issue.
Who is mismanaging what?
Nigerian presidency has shown historically to have the tendency to mismanage funds and spend on very unnecessary projects. Tinubu recently bought a yacht. He recently bought a yacht.
Presidential yacht.
Yes.
Why did he start to work? Why did he start to work in 2031? Why did he start to work in 2031? Wait now. Why did he start to work in 2031? Why did he start in 2031? He will take the yacht to your body law.
So what is the
no? He will take it to body law.
But that's
he will take it to body law.
That's not the point. See, you are
no. He's taking it to body law, Abi.
Hold on. You like digressing from the core issue.
No, I'm not digressing.
Every nation that produces oil has buffer systems, subsidy systems for the poor. Nigeria is the poorest of these nations. Why don't we have?
We have subsidy in agriculture. Those are the important areas we need to subsidize. Now we have subsidy in health sector.
It's a lie.
We have.
That's a lie.
You have to go down. Please, go how much it takes to treat kidney in Nigeria. People abroad are not coming.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain.
Doctors that have jackpot, they are not jackpot. They are not coming back to Nigeria.
That's not true. But let me explain.
No, what put it now?
Hold on.
Let me explain. Somebody there. Who is there? Somebody, please, Google it.
Let me correct you on
something. You have Google now.
Let me correct you on something.
Okay.
Let me calm down. Let me explain something to you. You cannot remove fuel subsidy knowing fully that it causes significant pain to the country.
Of course it will.
Without implementing at the same time measures to ameliorate this pain. Indonesia removed fuel subsidy. Egypt removed fuel subsidy to the extent that Nigeria removed it. There were no primary oil producers like Nigeria, but they still removed fuel subsidy and they had pain. But do you know what these guys did? They implemented social security systems to enable people to cater and survive all these things. Do
you know how much that the president is, the government is paying people, the poor people monthly?
There has not been any policy.
Government are paying people monthly. Poor people, they are paying them. Yes.
Which payment? Name one puppet that has received it around you.
Whatever I say, I always say drug bullying. Like somebody will always say, go and verify. Every month, the president pays stipends to some poor
That
families
is not
in this
true.
country.
That is
part
not
of
true.
it.
That is not
That is
true.
part of it.
It's not true.
Drug bullying now.
Nobody can attest to
My
the
brother.
credibility of these claims.
No, it is because you are not informed.
I'm informed.
You are not informed.
I can give you several reasons.
I'm coming, my brother. Somebody can tell me that you are a guru in this place. I will not say no. I will go and find out. That is wrong. It's not true.
This is the last 4 minutes of this
Okay. So just I want us to have like a direct conversation.
Yes.
Is there a world where you think that subsidy is necessary, to meet the needs of the poor in Nigeria?
It has already started.
The question is there a world where you think it is necessary for the poor people in Nigeria?
Like I said, it has already started.
Okay, that means you
agriculture.
Let's go. Let's not
Agriculture. No, I'm telling you, no. You this is not examination. You see, agriculture, education, health, subsidies are already existing in those areas.
You prouded yourself based on how Tinubu removed the subsidy. So let's talk about 2023, that the subsidy was removed.
Okay.
In that year, the National Economic Summit reported that 7.3 million jobs were lost in this country. What do you think is the main factor that kills jobs in Nigeria? What is one single factor that kills jobs in Nigeria? I'm asking you that question.
Inability to think outside the box.
I think it is electricity.
Inability
Every
to think
data says
Wait,
electricity.
No,
Every public data. I think
electricity has improved tremendously as we speak.
It's not about improvement.
It has improved.
The data out there says
Why is
that the number one factor.
why do you think electricity is killing jobs? Because it's not available. Simple.
The number one factor that kills businesses
Why do you
in
think
Nigeria
is
is the
the
absence of electricity.
absent? Because it's not available. Now that it's
So
available.
the point is
now that it's available.
no, the fact that it is available does not mean it is accessible. So let us
As
talk
an
about
accessible
let's
again.
talk about fuel. Fuel is
That's
available,
why
right?
there are band
So
A,
wait,
there are band B, there are band C.
How much?
So find your
How
level.
much was
Find your
minimum
level
wage?
now.
Wait now.
If you cannot do
You're
band A,
talking to me. It's me
you
you're
can
talking
be-
to. It's
If you cannot do band B, you do
look,
band C. Find your level.
It's me you're talking to.
Yes.
It's me you're talking to. So talk to me. Forget about these faces.
Okay.
How much was minimum wage as at 2023 and how much is minimum wage now?
Minimum wage now is 70,000 naira.
It's 70,000.
Yes.
The implementation of minimum wage, let's be clear, is still not fully implemented across board. That is true.
That's not true.
For instance,
That's
no,
not
let me give you an example. I work with defense, so you
Okay.
don't talk about
How much are they paying you, sir?
my minimum wage has not been implemented for me. So let's not even talk about, in case you don't know, there are a lot of people that has not got
I need your pay slip.
I would no, that's
I
not
need
a
to see your
problem. That's not a problem. I'm going to show you that. That's not a problem. I'm going to show you that. But the point is, even if you're talking about 70,000, now fuel is how much? Almost 900 naira for a liter of fuel.
Yes.
If you have to fuel yourself to work, how many percentage of your earnings will take you to work? Before now, I buy fuel. I used to have the same salary.
My
I
brother.
buy fuel for 180 something.
My brother.
Government subsidizes it for me. Do you know the good thing? I was actually setting up a business, right? We are already employed somebody
Because they
to
said
look at that
it
business.
is minimum
The point
wage
is-
does not mean it has to be 70,000.
No,
that
the
is the
point-
minimum. I'm not sure if they are assuming
It's
for not
calculated
considering that
on
they are not-
percentage.
if they are doing it, if they have just started, it is not like 70,000 you be earning.
No, I
It's more than
already
70,000.
put in years into
Eh.
work. But the point is,
Right,
it is relative.
Time. We've come to the end of this claim.
Yes, thank you very much. We've come to the end of this claim. The final claim is taxing the informal sector isn't wicked. TikTokers and Instagram vendors should be paying tax. That's how we fix revenue. Taxing the informal sector isn't wicked. TikTokers and Instagram vendors should be paying tax. That's how we fix revenue.
Yes. Another good thing that His Excellency President Tinubu is doing is the tax reform. You see, if you watch the debate in the National Assembly, there were a lot of senators that they didn't even open a page to read. They were just opposing. They don't know what they were opposing though, but they were just opposing it because it didn't. You see, we are now in an era whereby both the poor and the rich will pay tax. You can't escape it. Like President Tinubu said in one of his colloquium, he said we need to expand the tax net to capture as many as possible.
And reduce the purchasing.
And and reduce. No, that was in a particular context. So, but what I'm trying to say is that many of us in this country have gone to different places, and the system is working well. They will do this. Britain that don't have fuel, they don't have any resources. They live on tax. So we are happy now. At least a lot of the income we are generating from non-oil sector is now almost outweighing the oil sector, which is very, very good for us. It's very, very good for us. So we need a situation whereby those of you earning from TikTok, earning from YouTube, earning from Facebook, no matter who you are, you must pay tax. And the law is so clear. If your turnover is not up to 10 million a year, you are exempted. So before we oppose, let us read this very well. Many of us, we only listen to what some critics of the government are saying without fact checking. I was arguing with somebody in Arise. I don't want to mention the name. He's an ex-convict. I don't want to mention his name. I didn't mention anybody's name. I said, look, the fact that you are only playing somebody's script does not mean everything. You have succeeded in confusing a lot of people. And that fact check. You can't just say this is it. Go and read. Many people don't read.
All right, let's start.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yes. Hi.
Yes.
All right. What is the purpose of paying tax?
To generate revenue and ensure that there is development.
All right. Awesome. Now, in an instance where that you're paying taxes, but you're not getting, the government is not fulfilling their end of the corporate social responsibility. How do citizens survive in that instance?
Which of them have the government?
All right. So number one, I do not agree that availability is accessibility. Now, fuel is available. Let's agree.
You have
No. Like yes. It will lead to that, of course. Like it's all interconnected.
Okay.
You say we have, of course, when you have things like fuel subsidy, health subsidy, all of that also stems from tax, even road development and all.
And it's coastal road,
Like
which is going on.
all of that, yeah. So in between states, well, I went on a road trip from Ekiti to Osho to Ondo back to
You
Lagos.
don't see the work going on there.
And
The
road, excuse me, sir, please, can I finish? I went past a road. That road would have taken 5 minutes if it was good. We spent 30 minutes on that road, and it was literally, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. No, it's a federal government road because it's Ore. It is Ore.
Okay. There are some portions of the Ore road that
it's a federal.
It's not everything that is federal.
Excuse me, sir. I would go there. It's a federal government road. It was muddy. Our bus could not pass through. But he also mentioned that the federal government now has more money to give to state government for them to do those projects. So if the state government is not fulfilling their end, that means the federal government is not also fulfilling their end. No, please.
The fact that you see, state government now have more money to do their jobs. If state governments are not doing their job, we should not hold the federal government responsible for what you ordinarily should have hold the state government responsible for.
All right, sir, no problem. But more people are still not able to access all of the things that they are supposed to access, even with them paying more tax.
Like what?
Health.
Okay.
These systems are still as inefficient as they were 5 years ago.
Did you go to
Yes, okay. Yes, I went to General Hospital recently. Not that they denied me treatment, but it doesn't have to mean that the treatment is good. I was sick. I went to a federal government hospital. I was attended to. I got paracetamol and all. I felt sicker. Eventually, I had to go to a private hospital when I then got efficient treatment. These systems are still inefficient. Our roads are still bad. Education, education is still not free. So what is the point of the taxes we're paying?
No, the truth is, let me tell you something. Over 200 million Nigerians. Let us put the figure at 200, even if it's more than that. I can tell you that less than 30 million are paying tax. Less than 30 million are paying tax. And you expect all these things to just happen overnight. It doesn't work that way. In UK, where you raise wages weekly, before you even do have deducted everything, your life, your work, they're not paying for water. The water you are using in Nigeria, you're not paying for it now. Are you paying for water?
The claim you made.
You're not paying for water now.
I'm only arguing.
Where do you pay? You are paying to the landlord.
Excuse me, sir. I'm the one engaging you. Excuse me. The claim you made is that the government has more money now.
Yes.
We should pay increased taxes and all.
No, not increase taxes. We should increase number of taxpayers, not increase taxes.
Okay. Well,
we increase the number of taxpayers.
Even with the
if you have to look at it now, if you have to start, how many of you are paying taxes?
But even with this increase, we've not gotten any sustainable change.
The law has not
From what-
started. The law has not started.
Yeah, but
It has not been passed yet.
But if one
The
of,
law has
if
not
one
been
of-
passed
if one
yet.
of the things that's been buffering us has been taken away, which means that people don't even have money, and then we're not seeing the change we're supposed to see
Well,
to enable people
the
make more
changes are
income.
there. The coastal road is going on. Abuja,
That's just one thing.
Abuja,
Coastal road. How many people are
Sokoto,
benefiting
Badagry
from
road is
that
going
coastal
on.
road? When in between states, roads are still very
No,
bad.
this one from Lagos to Calabar is straight.
So you are
No,
not,
nothing can be
sir,
done
you
there.
are not
It's not
engaging
the usual road.
Excuse
though.
me, sir, you are not engaging the core of what I'm saying.
It is because you are not.
People are not benefiting from the system.
A lot of people are benefiting from it.
Who?
You and I.
Am I not a citizen of Nigeria? I'm not benefiting from
Tell
the
me,
system.
you said-
Everyone
you-
here says they are not
you said-
benefiting
you said
from the
you
system.
went to general
Are we
hospital
not
that they gave you
representing-
paracetamol and all of that. If I were you, what I would have done, doctor, I'm still sick, oh, then they will give you further treatment. You now went to a it means you can afford private. That's how you went there now. Yes, now. It means you can afford private. That's how you went there. You don't go to the federal government or to oh, doctor, the headache has moved to shoulder. What do we do now? The doctor will tell you what to do.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. What is the reason why the government tax the formal sector?
The formal sector.
Yeah.
Like I said, tax generally, whether formal or informal, is to raise revenue and to ensure that there is development throughout.
Yeah, but prior to that reason of revenue, the reason why they tax them is because they have a hand in making sure for development in those different sectors, whether it's private or it's government. Am I right?
Okay.
Exactly. So given that the state in itself does not still have that direct impact in this informal sector, for example,
Given that
Twitter,
what?
the state does not still have that direct impact in this social, in this informal sector, like Twitter. In fact, government even banned Twitter in Nigeria.
That's the time government has the hand in it. For government to have, if you don't have the hand up, you don't be able to ban.
Okay, fine. Government has a negative impact.
No,
in that. I mean,
no,
having hand,
no.
it's a negative side.
No. You see, let me tell you something. The social media, in fact, we have bills regulating social media. If you check, there's a law we call Cybercrime Act. So that law regulates how you use social media. You can't just come to Twitter or anywhere and be talking or doing things anyhow. You can be ahead. So government regulates it.
You have a point. That law is not being put by the Nigerian government. It's something that Twitter in itself, they regulate things like hate speeches and all those things.
No, government, Senator Nadinwoko that arrested one Tuma guy recently. You remember? The wife was saying that the wife of the senator has a boyfriend.
Yeah. You're not getting the point. If that guy had said that thing even in public without social media, he can still be arrested because he's making a direct hate speech against someone.
Yes.
It's not basically because of it was from social media.
Okay.
Do you get those other laws like hate speech are being regulated by the social media themselves, not by the government.
No, you
So
see, the way
government does not have that
Amana social media will regulate it is different from the way Amana government will regulate. Social media cannot send you to prison.
Yeah, but
Abi, social media cannot send you to prison. Government can send you to prison.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the government does not have that direct hand at the end of the day. You get government does that for
No, you see, government creates enabling environment for them to try.
Since you've not really gotten down to the reason why government should then tackle this informal sector.
Are you making money from it or not?
I mean,
no, I know. Are you making money from it or
not
not?
only Nigerians make money from informal sector.
Are you telling me in abroad?
So
all those things that they don't tax them.
So you're trying to tell me that
I know they don't tax them.
Okay, fine. Okay, first. Okay. Because I think you're only taking it from the side that everybody makes money from it. So imagine you're an influencer, or you're not an influencer, you are in entrepreneurship,
yes.
And then you have lots of followers. And then because of that, you sell your business in social media. You're already being taxed in your business.
That your business is
and then
your business is regulated like Kama. Company Alamada is in the first place. So you have to register that business. So that makes it different. So that's how you want to look at it. Government has the hand in it.
And
This is the second time.
No, don't worry, you can extend the time if you don't mind. I don't mind, I can yes.
Well, sir.
Yes, sir, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so my own issue, I don't really think it's wicked to pay taxes or to tax people. I don't really have a problem with that. Okay. But you said it's the way to fix revenue. That's what I primarily have a problem with. Because I think that while taxing helps you to get more money, making that your focus for generating revenue is lazy. Right? There are other ways you can develop the economy, not just by paying taxes.
No, you see, that is why I said that there are other ways government makes money.
Okay.
Tax is one of them.
Okay.
So, and every way you generate money must be taken seriously. Whether tax, whether from crude oil, whether from agriculture, every way. If you are talking about money, government needs money.
Okay. Well, the problem with the context of the Nigerian government is that there is little reason to believe that the government is maximizing other forms of revenue generation. Everyone has always known our current president to be very big on taxes, right? But the truth is, the way you can even, in my opinion, the way you can even get real benefits from tax is if you improve the other sectors of the economy, ensure that they grow, generate even more revenue, right? Then you can get even more money from taxes, right? So if you're able to improve things like agriculture,
okay,
right? If you're able to improve things like oil production, so far before Dangote came with his refinery, the government has not been able to successfully set up any refinery. So there are so many other ways. They are not functional. So it's as good as not having a refinery.
And it is working now. And they are working now.
No, I don't agree.
No, you don't. You cannot.
No, the government.
You are right not to agree.
In fact, I think it's shameful, right, that the government first needed a private citizen to create a refinery that works for them to realize how
it is not shameful. That means it's shameful for you to have a refinery. Is that what I'm saying? If you have the money, good one now. Is it shameful for you to build a refinery?
Because the government.
Relax. The atmosphere, let me tell you, by constitution of this country, the citizens of this country have every right to go into business. It is just the decision of government to provide regulations.
Let's not deviate, right? My own claim to your own claim is that I think it's shameful that you don't have to wait for a person to
no,
because there's nothing shameful about it.
There is nothing shameful about it.
Everything was still chat, but let's put that aside. Right? So, if the government is primarily focusing on taxes as a way to improve revenue, invariably other sectors are going to suffer.
No,
because that's where the focus is on. No. If we look at the other aspects, if we look at the other
sectors have suffered, as we fix that, which other sector is suffering?
Currently, we still have issues with producing enough food to meet the needs of the entire country. We have issues generating enough electricity for everybody to use. The government isn't doing enough in all of those areas, but the government is focusing so many resources on improving taxes for TikTokers.
Are you saying that they are not making money from it?
Who is not making money from it?
I think the government is not making money from it.
From what exactly?
Now,
TikTok or agriculture?
Talk about agriculture, for instance.
Of course, they're making money from it now.
Talk about the other one you mentioned, electricity. Are they not making money from it?
Okay, yeah, they are.
If they are making money from it,
you're missing the point. You're missing the point. I can start a business, right, where I'm selling cartons of biscuit and sweets. I'm making money from it. But that's not going to be enough for sustenance and to have a buffer in case things go bad. So the question is, how can we ensure that we don't just make enough money to get by, but make enough money so that we have, an overflow of resources? Okay, so the government is making money from agriculture and all of these things, but if the government will put more resources into those things, then they can make even more money.
Most of the time, our demand from the government outweighs the fact that we also should consider the fact that we are citizens of this country. We have duties and obligations towards this country. When you look at everybody, government do this. What have you been doing for your own country?
That's not no. No one voted me to do anything for the country.
You don't need to be voted for.
You do.
You don't need to be voted to do anything.
Let's even agree.
Did anybody vote for you to come here?
You're not doing anything.
You are all impacting. You are impacting this country. Whether you like it or not.
You are not doing anything.
You are making your contribution to the growth and development of the country with what you are doing.
Yes, but I don't have to.
No.
Right? I don't have to. Wait, I don't have to. I don't have to make the country better for
people.
Because that's not what I was.
You don't have to. No, you don't have. You see, that is a mistake you are making. You don't have to be voted for to make an impact in your country.
Okay.
That's the mistake.
No wala. See, okay. The point here is the point is how to increase the pie. Right? Not take more from the pie. Which is what the government is doing by focusing on how to tax people more. Like I said, I'm not against more taxes or rather taxing more people. Right? I think everybody should pay taxes, regardless of although obviously it's good that there are certain caveats. If you don't earn up to 10 million as an individual, if you earn up to 25 million as a business, that's absolutely fine. But the problem in this context is that the focus is now on how to tax more people as opposed to even efficiently gaining more resources from other sectors so that you can have more tax.
No, if you go to the Minister of Steel, Steel, now go and see what is happening. No, just go good developments in Ajakuta and you see what is happening there. But Nigeria itself has what it takes to generate nuclear weapons. Nigeria has what it takes to treat them as we speak. So government is doing well in that aspect.
you
very much, sir.
thank you.
We have come to the end of this.
Thank you for your engagement.
Sir, would you like to just briefly conclude?
Oh, thank you very much. You see, concluding, in conclusion, let us not look at what the government can do for us alone. In as much as we all agree that government has a responsibility to do something, let us look at what we can do for our own country. Nation building goes beyond government. If it were possible for every government, for a particular government to fix everything in 4 years or 8 years, there will be no need for the next election. There will be no need for the next election. So, but because it is not possible, that means both the government and the citizens have a role to play. Let us ensure that we play our role in ending insecurity. Because every insecurity we have in this country are politically motivated. Just because you don't like the peace of somebody in power, you just go there and kill people. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So let us try our best as citizens of this country to ensure that we play our role and make this country great again.
Excuse me, sir, you can't serve a government that does not serve you.
No. This government is serving everybody. The government of President Tinubu is serving everybody.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I thought it was just okay.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
What's next?
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.